Maybe the women might have trouble with the men in those sports, but watch today as America's top 3-year-old filly, Serena's Song, tries to put the hurt on a whole bunch of boys in the $600,000 Jim Beam. Thrifty Car Rental, racing across America. It's the first Saturday in April and Northern Kentucky's biggest day at the races. Welcome to Turfway Park. We're just across the river from Cincinnati, the site of the $600,000 Jim Beam Stakes, the richest stop so far on the road to the Triple Crown. And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Extra excitement around this 14th Jim Beam Day as a sensational filly from the West Coast has arrived. Serena's Song, undefeated this year. Is she good enough to go against the boys on this road to the Triple Crown? Is she good enough, in fact, even to go on to the Kentucky Derby? Well, Dwayne Lucas is a trainer. He knows how to get a filly to the Derby. Let's flash back to 1988. On the lead, the big gray lady, winning colors, giving Wayne Lucas the first Kentucky Derby victory in his great career. Today at Turfway, fillies in the spotlight, not only in the Jim Beam, but also in our $100,000 Bourbonette coming up live here on ESPN. We'll also have more 3-year-old colts in action in the Rushaway Stakes. Our feature, though, the Jim Beam. Here are the conditions. It's 3-year-olds, a mile and an eighth. The guaranteed purse is $600,000, $360,000 to the winner. Let's set the weather now. Blue sky is overhead, but cool temperatures. 46 degrees, a light breeze. The racetrack is fast. Now, the Jim Beam is listed as a grade 2, but those of us who followed this event through the 90s know it should be, deserves to be, a grade 1. We're going to join my colleague Dave Johnson to find out why and also meet the field. Dave?
Well, Chris, winners of the Jim Beam have won 5 of the last 15 Triple Crown races. So in the 90s, well, this race has become the classic route to the Spring Classics. Let's see who's in the field today. We start with the local favorite of Car Dealer, going for his 4th straight victory. Dean Coots rides 6-1. 6 is the price on the late closing Devil's Brew with Jorge Chavez. The only filly in the race, Serena's Song, gets in with a weight advantage of 116. Corey Nakatani, Mighty McGee at 15. The lightly raced Sikkim with Kent DeSormo at 8. Tejano Run, one of the best 2-year-olds last year, making his 2nd start of 95. Jerry Bailey aboard 7-2. Celestial Star, long shot at 30. And Mekki with Willie Martinez starts at 5-1. Wayne Lucas is no fool, April or otherwise. And when he sends a filly against the boys, it's no joke. How about Althea in 1984 winning the Arkansas Derby, or in 88 winning colors taking the Santa Anita Derby and the Kentucky Derby. So, Chris, all eyes on Serena's Song today.
You want proof it's April Fool? Look who's joined me. Norm Hitzges, ESPN's enthusiastic handicapper. Norm has set up the first of our 3 races for the folks, the Bourbonette, and really the attention on the fillies today.
Well, the focus is on Serena's Song, and rightly so, as she tackles the boys. But there's a nice field of fillies in this $100,000 Bourbonette. And, Chris, a good race by any one of a number of them could send them down the road to big races like the Ashland and the Kentucky Oaks.
$100,000 at stake, 1 mile in the Bourbonette. Let's talk about the field, Norm.
Out of the 1-hole scratch paper, just won the Valdale, but at moderate times. Limit ships up from New York for Billy Mott with increasing speed figures. Secret Rendezvous will enjoy stretching out. Spring Valley's been a disappointment this year. Grand Charmers won 4 times, but never tackled this kind of company. Minister Wife is the logical choice, has terrific early speed, and the track favored that. Ms. Isadora is an outsider. Scherzakat's very dangerous because it has high early speed, and if Well-Turned Phrase wins, we all turn in our cards for the Handicappers Union.
Quick comment, how does this race set up?
I believe that Minister Wife has this field at its mercy. It can take the lead or lay just off. The only danger is if Scherzakat gets totally free on a track that has really favored speed historically in the last few days.
They're loading up for the 1 mile, $100,000 Bourbonette. We'll go to the top of the stands. Dave Johnson to call the fillies.
Okay, directly in front of the grandstand is positioned the starting gate. And I like that 12-1 shot. Scherzakat. There's Well-Turned Phrase with Patty Cooksey moving into line. Will be set momentarily for the start of the Bourbonette. And they're off. Scratch paper from the inside. From the outside, there goes Scher's Arquette between horses. Limit charges up. Minister's Wife in the brown check colors is right off them in 4th position. Then comes Secret Rendezvous racing 5th. On the outside, Well-Turned Phrase is 6th at this point. Gap of 2. Grand Charmer along the inside. Then comes Ms. Isadora, second last, and Spring Valley is the trailer. 12 lengths from front to back. And it's Kent DeSormo on the front end with Scher's Arquette leading the pack by a length and a quarter. Scratch paper with Tony D'Amico in the second spot, saving a bit of ground. Limit comes off the rail, is now 3rd on the outside, and 3 wide. Minister Wife is right there 4th and gaining with every step. It's 4 back to Secret Rendezvous and Randy Romero. Then a gap of a length and a half, and Ms. Isadora in the light blue colors on the outside seems to be gaining a bit as Well-Turned Phrase drops back. Grand Charmer still second last. Spring Valley the trailer. They're midway on the turn. Scher's Arquette holding on to that lead, leading every step of the way, and now here comes Minister Wife on the outside to mount a challenge. A quarter of a mile to go. It's Scher's Arquette on the inside with DeSormo. Bailey with Minister Wife on the outside. As they straighten away in the lane, Scher's Arquette lets out a notch, gets to the front again by a length and a half. Minister Wife not gaining right now. From the back of the pack, Grand Charmer is flying, and down the stretch they come. Scher's Arquette on the inside. Minister Wife second, Grand Charmer 3rd. That's the way they finish in the Bourbonnais mile in 1:38 and 4.
Just the way we set it up, Norm. Scher's Arquette, the 8, got loose on the lead. This track loves front runners, and it held up as Scher's Arquette held off the favorite, Minister Wife, and a fast closing. Ms. Isadora will take another look here at the $100,000 Bourbonnais.
Well, that was the one worry for Minister's Wife, Chris, that this horse, Scher's Arquette, which we knew had classy early speed, would get out there and be able to relax on the lead. And DeSormo, who's been riding so well today, times this beautifully, and Minister Wife never gets to the lead horse, never looks it in the eye, Chris.
Jerry Bailey working hard on the favorite Minister Wife, but just can't get there, and flying on the outside. Ms. Isadora, but it is Scher's Arquette who holds on unofficially to win the Bourbonnais. We're underway on Jim Beam Day in Kentucky. Welcome back to Turfway Park. The Bourbonnais unofficial. Scher's Arquette has scored the upset in this $100,000 stake. And it's going to be a nice return. Scher's Arquette, owned by Michael Reardon, trained by our friend Murray Johnson, ridden by the West Coast jockey Kent DeSormo. For a closer look at just how she pulled the upset off, let's head upstairs again to Dave Johnson.
Well, as we take a look at the replay here, let's watch Kent DeSormo and the use of the whip. He simply doesn't use it. He is a confident rider, but he's going to have his hands full because this filly is going to be turning sideways. Look, she's gawking around. I think she's looking at the crowd or seeing who's coming up alongside of her. She's not wearing blinkers, but she is fast. And Grand Charmer, who was far back early, closes stoutly to get the show spot, but take nothing away from the winner. Scher's Arquette on a track that is certainly playing to speed this afternoon, and Kent DeSormo with another victory.
You saw red buttons there in the winner's circle making the presentation along with Kent DeSormo as Scher's Arquette's the winner. Norm Hitzges has a visitor now who's going to talk about another filly, the favorite in the Jim Beam. Norm?
Dwayne Lucas is here. You trained Minister's Wife. This horse has had a little bit of a problem of dawdling a little once it made the lead. What happened to it today?
Well, you know, when Jerry Bailey left the 3/8 pole, he made a move there to get away from that little group, and of course he ran at the winner and then went up pretty easy to the winner. And I think that she probably wasn't interested in. We know she likes to have a target, so he wanted to wait a little bit longer before setting her down. I think we underestimated the winner. The winner ran very, very well.
You're putting Serena Song, the filly, in with the boys in the Beam today. What led to the decision?
Well, we thought it might be a good spot. It's a 1 1/8 race, and I thought there might be a good time to test it. The field is not overpowering in size. I mean, by numbers, it's got some very good quality horses in it, obviously. And the $600,000 is a very, very attractive purse. These fillies don't get a chance to run at that kind of money very often. And then again, it gives us some 30 days to the Oaks, and we're in Kentucky. So, I mean, there were some very, very strong pluses.
Let's say this horse came out of here with, I mean, a smashing victory today. Would you change your mind and take it to the Derby?
Well, we're looking at the Oaks. We've got a couple other colts that we're considering, and one of them happens to be a common ownership, Timber Country, and Robert and Beverly Lewis own a piece of him, as well as Serena Song. We're not trying to look towards a Derby. We're looking at a very important race with a good purse and a timing situation for a filly that might stamp her as one of the really good ones.
Your horse exits a very fine race, the Santa Anita Oaks, in which it was all out to hold off a nice horse, Urbane, in the stretch. What did you learn about your horse in that race?
Well, you got to understand Nakatani a little bit on Serena Song. He rides her like he's seen the replay already. He always tries to, you know, save a little bit. He knows it's a long season. I told him, don't get so cute. It's, you know, causing us a lot of heart. So he rides her with great confidence. I hope that doesn't get us in trouble someday. But we're just happy to beat a horse as good as Urbane. She's a very, very good quality filly.
Was that race a hard race on Serena Song?
Not, you know, that we considered, but it wasn't really that bad. Actually, she bounced out of that very, very well, and that led us to come to here, of course.
You know, a lot of trainers almost seem reluctant about going with a filly against the boys, but not only your thoroughbred career, but your quarter horse career. Even back the Little Blue Sheep, you ran against the boys. Are you afraid of running it all against?
Be careful, you're aging us a little bit here. No, I don't think so. I think you have to have some things. First of all, you have to have tactical speed, and I think you have to have an exceptional filly. And of course, Serena is both of those. And then consider the purse and, you know, the other horses in the race. They all add up to a plus.
We appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
T. Wayne Lucas, let's go to Chris Lincoln.
Well, Minister Wife did not make it in the Bourbonette. Is heading back to the barn. Shirzar Cat will come back and make the Bourbonette official when we return to Turfway Park. Remember, Wayne's big filly, Serena's Song, is still coming up. Your book odds in the Kentucky Derby regarding some of the 3-year-olds in this Jim Beam field. Now, if you made the bet right now, you could get to Honnold Ron at 8-1, Devil's Brew at 20, Serena's Song at 50, Mecky at 60, and Car Dealer at 70. Interesting note, Devil's Brew had been 45-1 just a few days ago. Well, we've had the Bourbonette, an upset in that. Now we're going to go to another race for you, run a bit earlier this afternoon, the Rushaway Stakes. It's for 3-year-old colts. They were going 1 mile and a 16th. The first $60,000. Norm has a look at a few of the favorites going into that race. Norm?
Chris, there were 8 3-year-old colts in the field, and the overwhelming choice was a horse called Top Account that Neil Howard trains. It went off at 3-5. A lot of people felt that if Top Account were in the big race today, the Beam, he'd have been their shot to win it. Everybody thought, well, a lot of people thought Top Account would inhale this field. The second choice was the number 3 horse, Key Guy. Dave Johnson had the call of the $60,000 Rushaway.
On the far outside, Big to the front, along the inside, Mine Inspector. And there goes Awesome Reality, and in full control. Not fast early in the contest, as in full control. Takes command by half a length. Along the inside, Mine Inspector now moves to challenge. On the outside, Awesome Reality in the green cap races third. Key Guy saves ground along the inside for 3 parts of a length. Bick on the outside in the yellow colors is 5th at this point. The heavy favorite is 6th. That's Top Account. Locked in at the rail, and it's 4 lengths back to the trailer, Michael Starr, who's 7th and last, about 7 lengths from the lead. And the battle on the front end continues. On the outside, in full control, has it by a head, and here comes Bick to join the fray on the outside. Bick now challenging. Bick to the front by a head. In full control is second, and Top Account is in gear and roaring up on the outside, now into 3rd position with Jerry Bailey as they round the far turn. In full control in the red and white colors, leads it by half a length. Bick is second. On the outside, Top Account 3 wide, 3rd by a head. Between horses, Key Guy is racing 4th. At the rail, Mine Inspector drops back, then comes Awesome Reality, and Michael Starr remains the trailer. They turn for home. Here comes Bick up on the outside, taking command now by half a length, and off the rail, Key Guy with a quick move. Key Guy rushes up with Kent DeSormo, takes command and draws clear. Impressively, Key Guy drawing clear in the Rushaway. It's Key Guy with Kent DeSormo taking it by 5. It was Bick second, and the heavy favorite Top Account third. 1:44.3, the final time for the mile and a 60.
2 races back has turned Key Guy into a monster. Bick gets in there for second. Top Account that did not look like it wanted to go through a hole along the rail, then went wide, and at the turn, top of the turn, had nothing left in its account, gets third. We may well have seen the elimination of Top Account as a Derby contender. Your Wittenauer splits for the Rushaway today with DeSormo riding the winner. 1:44 the finish, 47 to the half, 1:12 and 1 to the 3/4 mile. Here's Chris Lincoln.
Well, it looks like Kent DeSormo day so far. The California riders come in and won the Bourbonette, returning $27 on Scherzar Cat. Now he picks up the Rushaway. Second choice, $7.30 on Key Guy. Looking ahead to the beam, he's on a long shot, Sakim. Welcome back in Northern Kentucky to their big track here, Turfway Park, and to their biggest day of racing, the Jim Beam Stakes. And of course, we know college basketball is on your mind too. It's Final Four day in Seattle. And with that in mind, tonight on ESPN, join our own basketball guru, Dick Vitale. At 10:30, it's Dickie V's prime time performers. He'll list them in 13 different categories, also show some of the highlights of the season just passed. Well, now let's reset the Jim Beam Stakes for you here at Turfway. Here are the current odds presented by Auto Tote Car Dealer at 5, Devil's Brew 7. There's the favorite, the Dwayne Lucas trained filly. Serena's Song is 6-5. Mighty McGee at 35. Then it's Sakim at 9, Tahano Run getting support at 3, Celestial Star at Big Price, and Mekki at 6-1. A great history in this Jim Beam. Dave Johnson has more on that.
Well, in the 13-year history of the Jim Beam, several proven stars have come here to Turfway Park to run in the race. 3-year-olds like Broad Brush and Prairie Bayou and Summer Squall, but this race is also a star maker. And I offer into evidence, Your Honor, Hansel in 1991 and Lil E.T. the very next year. Lil E.T. was sent off as the 9-2 third choice in the Beam, following an eventful but somewhat disappointing trip at Oaklawn. His connections could only hope that he would be better for the experience. Moving around the far turn, Wacky Warrior has the lead, holding on to it by a length and a quarter. Treakster is second, and on the outside, now there goes St. Vallejo moving with a rush. At the rail, it's Lil E.T., fourth, and now moving up to third. In the middle of the racetrack, here comes Snappy Landing, gobbling up ground with Gary Stevens aboard. Fifth, but just 2 off the leader as the field straightens away in the stretch. Wacky Warrior is going wide and carries St. Vallejo about 4 out from the rail, and that benefits Lil E.T. with Pat Day on the inside. But here comes Treakster, and here comes Snappy Landing, and down the stretch they come. At the rail, it's Lil E.T. from between horses. Treakster drops out of it. Flying Victor is next, and Snappy Landing in deep stretch. Lil E.T. digging in and hanging on. Lil E.T. did hang on to give owner Cal Partee and trainer Lynn Whiting their 3rd Jim Beam victory, and jockey Pat Day his 5th. After the race, Day indicated that his pupil was still learning his lessons.
He broke so nice and relaxed, almost had me concerned if he was, going to get in the race. But he got his feet up under him and got a good position around the first turn up the backside. He had me just a little concerned at the head of the stretch when he cut the corner on Wacky Warrior, turning for home. As soon as he made the lead, he literally came out of the bridle. His head came up, he pricked his ears and just quit running. And try as I might, I wasn't able to really get him back into the race. He went ahead and win the race. But he didn't put out much the last quarter of a mile, which that leads me to believe that he'll get another 1/8 of a mile, and we certainly didn't get to the bottom of him here today.
And true to his jockey's belief, Lil E.T. put it all together on Derby Day. He stormed through the Churchill Downs stretch to win the 118th Run for the Roses by a length, giving his jockey and teacher, Pat Day, his first Kentucky Derby victory.
1992 Kentucky Derby won by Lil E.T., the Jim Beam winner that year. Really put this race on the map. Let's take a look now at the horses of the Beam this year that arrived in the paddock. This is the 6 Tahano Run, a multiple stakes winner. We expected to see him in the Louisiana Derby a few weeks ago at the fairgrounds. But when he ran in the Risen Star in his first start of 95, he came up with a lung infection, ran very badly in the race. Kenny McPeak, his trainer, lost 5 days of training. We wondered just how much it took out of the colt and just what he hopes to get out of today's Jim Beam.
Well, I want him to relax. You know, there's not much speed in the race, or it looks like the filly's going to have her way. Hopefully there'll be some other colts in this race that'll give her a contest early. As long as he lays back there and Jerry's able to make his run like he did last fall, I'll be happy. If he doesn't get there and he makes a kick and he shows that stride that we know he's got, we're on our way to Kentucky Derby.
Comments by trainer Kenny McPeak with Tahano Run. Another one is certainly a local favorite here, Norm. Going to get a lot of support is Car Dealer, the one horse, a beautiful, almost a black colt on a real roll here. The red head in the stall there is the trainer Marcia Lee Butler. We talked with her earlier in the week about the tough training regime she's put this 3-year-old through.
We ran the 22nd of February. Mother Nature had been against us prior to that, and we were not able to do the training that would take us into a distance race. We put this horse in boot camp after the 22nd of February in a very rigid program of a mile work, having skipped the prep intentionally, a mile work, and then a strong 5/8 work here at Turfway in 59 3 took us into the John Battaglia.
Chris, Car Dealer's been a different horse since they brought it to Turfway and gave it Lasix. It has 3 wins and a second in 4 races here. And somewhere along in here, Car Dealer may fire a shot and put some pressure on Serena's song. Tahano Run is a horse that trainer McPeak wanted to have a package of 3 races. 2 races and then the Derby. He basically threw out the Risen Star, brings the horse here, hopes the horse runs very well, will ship it to the Bluegrass and use the Beam and the Bluegrass as the first 2 leading up to the Derby.
Earlier this afternoon, Dave Johnson has had a chance to visit with the rider, Tahano Run, regular rider, Jerry Bailey, who's just been nominated to Racing's Hall of Fame.
Jerry, first of all, congratulations on your nomination to Racing's Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Dave. It's quite an honor, and it looks like I'm in pretty tall company.
And worthy to be there. Hey, let's talk about racing. You've been in the news lately.
Yeah, you know, it seems like I'm getting taken off as much as I'm getting put on these nice horses, but that's all part of the ball game. I can only be at one place at one time and ride one horse, and you just hope you don't offend too many people along the way.
Decision-making part of the process.
It really is. You know, good horses come and they run at different tracks at different days, and you know, you just can only ride one.
But you're here at Turfway today with Tahano Run. Let's talk about him. What about the first time he raced this year at the fairgrounds?
Well, you know, he laid a little bit closer, but I was very happy with his position in that race. But the final quarter of a mile, he didn't fire like he usually does. Came to find out he had a little bit of a lung infection, and I hope he's in tip-top shape today.
You've been on him in good times and bad. One of the good times was right here in the Kentucky Cup as a 2-year-old. He was a different horse that day.
You know, his best run is like he ran that day. He'll move up in behind the speed going into the far turn, and then he'll make a second run through the stretch and really put him away.
What's your strategy today with the Jim Beam?
Well, I might very well have to use that. The speed's been holding so far today. Serena's Song, the horse to beat, has speed, so I might need to move up in behind her going down the backside and then hope to overtake her through the stretch.
So you were up the track in New Orleans. You've been in the winner's circle here at Turfway with this horse. Which Tahano Run do you hear will be here today?
I hope the same one that was here Kentucky Cup Day.
Jerry Bailey, I can't think of anyone more deserving to be in Racing's Hall of Fame. Again, congratulations, Jerry, on the nomination. Well, let's meet the field for the 1995 Jim Beam Stakes, $600,000 at stake. We start with the local favorite, Car Dealer, $22,000 Keeneland purchase. He's on a 3-race win streak, including the Battaglia Prep here, but he picks up 10 pounds today. The rider is Dean Coots, looking for his biggest win of his 22-year race career. The 2-horse is Devil's Brew. Another Keeneland purchase, $30,000 out of their 2-year-old in training sale last year. He's a stretch-running son of Devil's Bag. Closed nearly 17 lengths for 3rd in the Battaglia. Jorge Chavez, the rider, native of Peru, has won titles in Florida and New York. The 3-horse, $150,000 Keeneland purchase. Here she is, the leading lady, Serena's Song, the 5th filly to ever race in the Beam. The filly has never won this race, but Serena's Song comes here with some kind of credentials. She's won almost $900,000, including 3 Grade 1. She's on a 4-race win streak. The rider, Corey Nakatani. The 4-horse, $22,000 Keeneland purchase is Mighty McGee, expected to set the pace in the Beam. 2nd in last fall's Nashua, 3rd in the Remsen. Not much luck this year. Randy Romero continues his comeback. He has the assignment. The 5 is Sakim. Lightly raced, has been 1st or 2nd, though, in 3 of 4 starts. 2nd in the Battaglia Prep. And the Roan picks up the service of Kent DeSomo, who's been red hot today, won the Bourbonette and the Rushaway. The 6, $20,000 Keeneland bargain. Tahano Run has won more than $311,000. The multiple graded stakes winner who won the Kentucky Cup Juvenile here and the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland. Jerry Bailey has the riding assignment. The 7 horses Celestial Star, $9,000 Keeneland purchase, won a maiden and an allowance race, but makes a big jump to Grade 2 Stakes Company today. Otto Thorworth is the rider, has been in Oaklawn's top 10 the last 4 years. Rounding out our field, the 8-horse is Mecky. The Florida-bred solid performers cashed a paycheck in his last 7 stakes races, won the Tropical Park Derby, 3rd in the Florida Derby, the only horse to win at this 9 furlong distance. Willie Martinez, 2-time riding champion here at Turfway, has the mount on Mecky. $600,000 the purse, $360,000 for the winner. They're parading to the post here at the Jim Beam and will return. The ever-changing grandstand and look at Turfway Park. Boy, what a great job they've done bringing this back from the old Latonia race course now. Reminder on ESPN, the weekly recap of all the horse racing action, Race Horse Digest. Join us Wednesday at 3:30. We have thoroughbreds, we have harness, we have quarter horses. We have it all for you. Serena's Song, the brilliant filly from California, is now favored at 6-5 for the Jim Beam. You're looking for value, I understand. So let's go to Dave Johnson now for the Budweiser long shot in the Jim Beam.
Today's Budweiser long shot is number 8, Mecky, who recently competed in the Florida Derby. Now, instead of watching Suave Prospect and Thunder Gulch as we take a look at the stretch drive of the Florida Derby on the front end, catch the late move by Mecky at 22-1, who will finish a creditable 3rd. Mecky gets a new pilot today. Willie Martinez is aboard. Now, one of the reasons we're looking at Mecky is because these 2 horses, Suave Prospect and Thunder Gulch, aren't here. So we're hoping for Mecky to be a little closer earlier and a little faster later, as today, Budweiser long.
There is the son of Marlin. Mecky opened at 5-1. The Budweiser long shot is currently 6-1. We'll come back with more on the 1995 Jim Beam Stakes from Turfway right after this break. Speaking of sure bets, there she is right there, Serena's Song, the filly. She is now odds on, even money now. The choice, Serena's Song. On the horse racing, we're always looking for opinions. Norm Hitzges has his featured nose to nose, actually nose to forehead, as Norm goes up against the Associate Vice President of Turfway. You know him as the Hall of Fame rider, Steve Coughlin.
Hey, first of all, Steve, this is a pretty good matchup of noses.
Very good, I say. That's, equal.
The public's noses say Serena's Song's going to win this. Your nose has been in some tight spots on tracks like this. What does your nose say?
Well, you know, Lucas, Nakatani, she's a great filly. I think she's going to be tough to beat, but, you know, I'm not convinced that she wants that extra 1/16 of a mile, and I like Tahano Run.
For Tahano Run to win, somebody's going to have to soften that filly up on the front end. Do you think there's enough pace to do that?
Well, I think Mighty McGee's going to be up there, and I think Car Dealer's going to be sitting just off the pace. And at some stage, probably around the 2nd turn, I think he's going to try and tackle the filly and maybe take a little sting out of her, and, you know, maybe enough to let Tahano Run come and do her on the line.
If it finishes the way Steve Coughlin thinks it'll finish, what's 1, 2, 3 on the board after the Beam?
I like Tahano Run, and I like the filly 2nd with Mecky 3rd.
I'll take the filly Serena's Song. I'll take the long shot Devil's Brew to get up for 2nd. Just because I respect your nose, Steve, I'll put Tahano Run on the board 3rd.
Thanks.
Well, it may be known by a nose, but Steve Coughlin, remember, is a Hall of Famer. There's Tahano Run. He's also getting support here. The 6 horses 3-1. We're 2 minutes to post. 2 minutes to running the richest Kentucky Derby prep race of the year, the $600,000 Jim Beam. The field for the 1995 Jim Beam parading to the post. It's almost post time here at Turfway. Let's bring you the latest odds presented by Auto Tote. Car Dealer, the local favorite at 7. Devil's Brew at 8. Serena's Song is odds on, and Mighty McGee is 45. Then it's Sakim at 8. Tahana Run, the second choice at 3. Big Price Celestial Star, Mekki at 7. If you're looking for a race that might tell us more about this field, let's go back a couple weeks to the Battaglia Stakes. Let's take a look, Norm.
3 of the top contenders in today's race ran in the Battaglia 2 weeks ago. That's Car Dealer, the eventual winner on the outside, getting a clean trip. Look at the trouble a gray Sakim gets into. Tries to go out, no room there. Looks in, no room there. Looks for a hole, finally finds a hole, but Car Dealer's running free on the outside. Sakim bangs in through the hole, challenges here. Car Dealer will hold him off and win this race. But look at the flying Devil's Brew on the outside at the finish line and realize Car Dealer picks up 10 pounds, Sakim picks up 8, and Devil's Brew runs it the same way today.
In 13 runnings, no Battaglia horse has ever won the Jim Beam. Maybe today. Stakes and track record, one in the same. Hansel, 146 and 3. To the top of the stands, Dave Johnson to call the Jim Beam Stakes.
And just one left to load. Mekki, the Bud long shot is in. We're all set. Serena's Song anxious. Serena's Song bobbled just a bit at the start, but she's quick and she's out there and she's in front. It's Serena's Song leading the pack by a half length. On the outside, here comes Mighty McGee with Randy Romero, and Mighty McGee takes the lead by a head. With Serena's Song on the inside, battling back. Those two in a duel up front. And Celestial Star is right off the leaders, racing in third. Car Dealer in the pink and black silk saves ground along the inside rail at the first turn. Fourth at this point, 5 from the lead. Mekki, the Bud long shot, fifth on the outside in the yellow colors. A gap of 4. Sakim, the Roan Colt, is next, followed by Tahano Run. And way back, Devil's Brew, 25 lengths from the leader. And the leader is Serena's Song, the filly, with Corey Nakatani on the inside, leading it by a long neck. Mighty McGee on the outside right there and challenging. Those two head and head now, stride for stride. Now the leaders. Race is a team. Serena's Song, the filly at the rail. Mighty McGee on the outside, pressing the pace. 2 back. That's Celestial Star in the blue colors racing third. And here comes the Bud long shot. Mekki in gear. Third on the outside with the yellow blinkers and moving up. They're midway on the turn. It's Serena's Song leading it by a length and a quarter. Mighty McGee along the inside, second by a head. Mekki is racing third on the outside. Celestial Star dropping back, and Tahano Run is putting in his run on the outside as they straighten away in the lane. It's the filly, Serena's Song, in front by 4. On the far outside, here comes Tahano Run, gobbling up ground with every stride, and down the stretch they come. Serena's Song on the front end, strong on the lead, and with Corey Nakatani aboard, Serena's Song wins it by 3.5. Tahano Run second. Mekki, the Bud long shot third. Final time, 1:49 and 3.
Well, it's just the way the two trainers have finished 1-2-1. And Dwayne Lucas got his victory. Kenny McPeak found out that Tahano Run is on his way back. But you've just seen racing history in the Jim Beam. The brilliant California filly owned by Bob and Beverly Lewis, Serena's Song, has become the first in the 14 runnings of the Jim Beam to beat the Colts. 4 have run in the previous 13. There were 2 in the inaugural Beam. Cupcoy's Joy third, Betty Money ninth. In the Jim Beam of 84, Lucky, 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 set out by Lucas, the favorite, ran 5th. And in 1992, it was Queen of Triumph running 7th. But today, Serena's Song has become the first filly ever to win the Jim Beam Stakes. She's the 14th running of the Jim Beam is Corey Nakatani. Gets a handshake here from Milton Berle, one of the many celebrities on hand this afternoon. Milton loves his horses. I bet he loves Serena's Song, too. The daughter of Rahi, just like a champion's supposed to run. Dave Johnson will take another look.
The track has been favoring front runners, but when they're softened up on the front end, anything can happen. But look at Serena's Song, how brave she is up there as we take a look at this thrifty car rental replay. On the inside, Serena's Song, and Mighty McGee has had enough. Now from the back of the pack, Mekki is flying, and Tahano Run, who will eventually finish second. But let's take a look at daylight savings time, because Serena's song will put daylight between herself and the rest of the field, and it ain't just because of the 5-pound weight allowance. Tejano Run in a good run finishes second, but Serena's song is very special.
Well, there she is, Serena's song. She is now racing's newest millionaire. There's D. Wayne Lucas. He says Kentucky Oaks. Okay. I wonder. Norm?
Chris, hats off to Serena's song, but we have the trainer of the second place finisher, Tejano Run, Kenneth McPeak. Your horse got set back in training because of the lung infection in Louisiana. You said you wanted one fine, solid run on him. It looked like you got it.
Yeah, everything went exactly like we planned. I'm glad to see so much excitement about a horse that ran second. But actually, everything was perfect. I had Jerry take him out another 1/16 of a mile past the wire, you know, to put more wind in this horse, and it looks like everything's going as planned.
This is Tejano Run moving into second behind the box-to-wire winner, Serena's song. Does this put you back on track for the Derby, do you feel?
I think we're exactly where we want to be. You know, we're going to watch him closely after this race. If he runs the same type of race at the Bluegrass, you know, we've got a long stretch at Keeneland going 1 mile and 1/8 there. Everything seems to be coming around just at the right time.
Kenneth, congratulations on a good, healthy run for your horse.
Thank you.
That's
Congratulations to Wayne Lucas.
That's Kenneth McPeak, whose horse is obviously headed for the Bluegrass. We're headed for Chris Lincoln.
And there is Serena's song. She's made history, the first to be in the winner's circle of a Jim Beam Stakes.
It's official here at Turfway Park, the Jim Beam. Prices show the winner, Serena's song, at $380, $280, and $240. Tejano Run second, $343. The 6-horse. And Mecki finishing third. Number 8 paid $3. The Wittenauer splits on the board right now show you the final time of 1:49 and 3. Not really a great deal of significance here, and interesting that 43 and change was the half-mile time. With pressure, Serena's song got away with it. Let's take a look at the full order of finish in this year's Jim Beam Stakes, with the filly Serena's song on top at the wire by many. Tejano Run, Mecki, Mighty McGee, Celestial Star, Card Dealer, Devil's Brew, and Sakim did not finish. Now down to Norm.
We are in the winner's circle with the winning rider, Corey Nakatani, and the winning trainer, D. Wayne Lucas. Was that as easy as it looked?
I tell you, she's just as game as she comes. She's ever since I rode her, I told Wayne, I says, Wayne, I think she's going to be a champion. There's no doubt. And the day at the Breeders' Cup last year, I thought that she would have won the race, but she was bobbling a little bit through the stretch. And he says, well, the one that you beat's a champion too. I says, well, we got 2 of them then.
Before the race, we asked, was there any kind of smashing performance that could lead you to change your mind and maybe ship this horse to the Kentucky Derby instead of the Kentucky Oaks? Was it smashing enough for you?
Well, the win was great. I mean, but we're still thinking Oaks, but we're going to be sitting there, and she's going to go back to Louisville tonight, and she'll be bedded down there for the next 30-some days. So I don't think that we have to make any decision on that, but we're still thinking Oaks.
Is the next race one of them, the Derby or the Oaks?
Not necessarily. We're going to look at a race called the Ashland for $300,000 that is going to be run on the 22nd, and I want to see how she pulls up from this, but it didn't look like it was too tough on her today.
Corey, we've got the replay of the race, and it just looks like you're just sailing down the lane.
I tell you, she was just reaching out, and I just listened to Wayne. Wayne said, you know, turn her from home. Don't leave her. Don't let him come up to you and put a little pressure on her. Just you ride her the way you ride her, and just steal away when you can and take all advantages. And that's exactly what I did, and she proved best today.
Okay, Corey, he's going to do whatever he decides to do. You want to take her to the Derby?
I'll tell you what, wherever she goes, I'm going.
Hey, congratulations, Corey. Congratulations, Wayne.
Thank you, Norm.
Let's go to Chris Lincoln.
All right, Norm, Serena's song. She is special and the first filly ever to win the Jim Beam Stakes. Coming up for us next week, the Remington Derby, part of the final week of the National Best 7, will be live at 5 o'clock Eastern here on ESPN. And coming up next on ESPN, final round of the Tradition, the first major championship of the year for the Senior PGA Tour, live from Scottsdale, Arizona. That's next on ESPN. Dave, a final thought on the brilliant filly.
As as you push your clocks forward tonight into daylight saving time, push the name of Serena's Song forward on your list of top 3-year-olds. Whether she goes in the Derby or not, she really is good, and it'll be fun to watch her through the rest of the season. Chris?
Bob and Beverly Lewis from California have just joined me. Bob, I know what Wayne's thinking with the Oaks. You're the owner. Do you want to run in the Kentucky Derby with this filly?
Well, I think every horse owner has had to have that as an aspiration, Chris, but we're not ready quite to commit to that at this point. Our next objective is certainly going to be the Kentucky Oaks, and we'll see how the filly came out of this race. She turned in a very creditable performance. We're very proud of her, and who knows what's going to happen, huh?
You got a millionaire, Barry. Congratulations, Betty. Fantastic job. It was great. Bob, Betty Lewis, a deserved congratulations. They bought Serena's Song here and became the first filly ever to win this Jim Beam in his 14th running. Hope you enjoyed our coverage here of the 1995 Jim Beam Stakes from Turfway Park. The Jim Beam, $600,000, and the lion's share goes to the filly Serena's Song. Today's show presented by Thrifty Car Rental. Pick up your tickets to $100,000 Thrifty Derby at a Thrifty Car Rental location in your neighborhood. By Keeneland, source of the classic horse and source of Serena's Song. Beechwood Age Budweiser, it's always been true. This Bud's for you. Bob likes that. What now?